Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your Week in Nerdom Movies edition for the week of March 5th, 2018. This week in movies, we've got a bunch of updates. Flashpoint, Logan's Run, The Crow, Fahrenheit 451. So much is going on. Let's hit an intro.
Quiet on the set. Rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
Before we can get into the news, we gotta get into the sponsor so I can make a couple bucks, right? Today's episode is brought to you by patreon.com/generally nerdy. That is the only place you can go to directly support this channel. There's multiple tiers you can get on for. The higher up you go, the more interaction we have. If you get on for the top tier, if you get on for $10 a month, I will put you in an episode. So again, it's patreon.com/generally nerdy, and you can get on. You don't have to spend $10 a month. You can do just $1 a month. It makes a huge difference. That $1 honestly is a big deal. So again, patreon.com/generally nerdy, and you can jump on. You can support this channel, go deeper into the conversation, and help the conversation continue. Now let's get into some news. First on the docket for movies this week is Silver and Black. We talked about him last week. We're talking about him again this week. Sony is screwing up, man. Last week we talked about how it got postponed indefinitely. Well, come to find out, it's because they are not solid on the script yet. There at least is a script in existence because director Gina Prince Bythewood, that's how that's pronounced, right? Bythewood said on Twitter, she was tweeting at that hashtag show, she said she is actively still working on the script. Why were we supposed to be filming this week then if the script is still in limbo to some degree? And we have no casting announcements, we have no nothing else. They just set a filming schedule for a movie that wasn't ready to film. So it's still being worked on, it's just not at all close to anywhere near production yet. Next on the list is X-Force. So Fox, it turns out, is not just thrown in the towel. Not that they really gave up on anything, but they're not just waiting for Disney to take over. They're continuing business as usual until somebody tells them otherwise. And with the merger being in limbo because the government has to take a look at it to make sure there's no monopoly situation, which is likely not a thing because, I mean, yeah, they're buying a lot more real estate, but they're not the only game in town. So I can't see it not happening, but Fox is just continuing along like it isn't happening. They are planning for until 2021, I believe. They just announced that they're going to be doing 3 superhero movies a year. One of those movies is X-Force. They just announced that their plan is to start filming X-Force in October, which puts us probably into 2020 that we will get the X-Force movie. So we're getting Deadpool 2 this May. We're gonna go a year without Deadpool, and then we're getting Deadpool in X-Force. So that's just cool. I just wanted to share it because it's cool. Next, we're talking about the Highlander series reboot. We talked about this a couple of months ago when it was initially announced, but that was in one of the hour-long Week in Nerddoms when all of the categories were in one video, and so probably you either forgot or didn't see it. The Highlander series is getting rebooted. Lionsgate just sent out a press release saying that they finally have a script that they are happy with, meaning a script that is potentially going to open them up for a franchise, because they said something about sequel potential, so they are keeping franchise stuff in mind. But yeah, they're moving forward in the process. That means they're scouting locations. They are gearing up for casting, directors. All of this stuff is moving forward with Highlander. I dig the Highlander movies. They are straight up popcorn fodder, and I feel like that's one of the charms about the movies. If you try and sell Highlander as something deep and meaningful, you're gonna lose your audience. So know that going into this there, Lionsgate. But still, pretty excited. You can't go wrong with Christopher Lambert, right? Not that he's gonna be in this. This is a reboot, but still, Christopher Lambert was in the other Highlander movies. Next, we're talking about the Flashpoint movie. Now, Warner Brothers made a good move. So the bit of news that we're talking about specifically is that we got directors. Those directors are John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, the two directors who gave us Game Night, which is either out now or coming soon, still very soon. And they did Spider-Man Homecoming. And Ezra Miller is still going to be the Flash. That hasn't changed. So the news is the two directors. Now, I feel like they made a pretty good choice because Spider-Man Homecoming was paid homage enough. It was not a great movie. I am not saying that Spider-Man Homecoming was fantastic. It wasn't. It was mediocre, and we've talked about that. But it was good enough to pave the way for future good Spider-Man movies. We now have a Spider-Man in Tom Holland that is going to give us fantastic movies potentially in the future. And that is due very largely to the director team. So with The Flash, who is kind of Spider-Man-y in the DC universe as far as his attitude and personality and such. With The Flash, and specifically with Flashpoint, there is a lot of source material that you need to pay attention to. And because they did that so well for Homecoming, I definitely think that there's no reason to not believe they're not going to do it for The Flash, for Flashpoint. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, Flashpoint in the comics is a series of books. It's a series of trade paperbacks even. So if you want to go read it, it is some of the best Flash reading you're ever going to get. Do that. Go to your local bookstore and pick up all of those trades because it's brilliant. The big thing about that, though, aside from the actual Flash story, the thing that fans kind of latch onto is the Batman story that was told in the Flashpoint story arc. So that, because we have Jeffrey Dean Morgan and What's-Her-Toes from The Walking Dead, we have those two actors as Thomas and Martha Wayne already, that has to be paid attention to. If that happens and they do a good Eobard Thawne reverse Flash story arc that takes up most of the movie, because the Batman stuff is not going to be a dominant story arc in the movie. It can't be. That could be a movie in and of itself, but that's not likely to happen. If we get that reference though, if we get some sort of interaction with Thomas Wayne Batman and Martha Wayne Joker, then this movie is going to hit a home run, is going to be the standard for DC. So crossing our fingers, hoping that that's the way they go. Please, Daly and Goldstein, please pay attention to your source material. Pay attention to where this story comes from and give us a better version than the TV show. TV version was not bad. You can do better. And that's where we're going to leave that bit. Moving on now to Logan's Run. Logan's Run is a classic sci-fi movie. If you have not seen it, it's from like 73, I believe. The first time I remember watching it, I was impressed with the quality of storytelling, and they're remaking it. That's not a bad thing. That's definitely not a bad thing. Updating something that's that old is doable. Something with that much esteem, something with that much pedigree, I feel like is something you're going to have to do very, very cautiously. Simon Kinberg has been brought on to direct the reboot. And he announced that he is considering changing Logan 5, the protagonist of the story, changing Logan 5 to a female, which is not a horrible idea, is totally doable as long as this movie is great. If this movie is just a vehicle through which you are trying to push a political agenda and you focus on the fact that Logan is now female, you're gonna bomb. It's gonna be horrible. If though Logan just happens to be female and you don't make a big deal out of it, there's no reason why that character can't be female. I just don't see that being an issue. But again, it has to be done very, very well in order to get the hate to minimize from, because you're gonna get hate no matter what. You're redoing a classic movie, and B, you're changing the gender of the lead. So you're gonna get people pissed off at you. But you will appease more if you do it super well. And I don't know exactly what that means. But as we get closer to it, we can kind of analyze it a little bit more. Next, though, is more reboot news. Oh, man. Again, we reboot a lot of stuff. This reboot, though, is The Crow. Jason Momoa is going to be The Crow. Just got a release date, October 19th, 2019. As far as I know, they haven't started filming. That's a pretty short time frame without starting filming already. So, though that could be a sign, and hopefully it is, that could be a sign that this is going to be a movie that gets more practical effects, less CG, because that's how you have to do stuff like this. Like we talked about with Nightwing, it's going to benefit from being practical rather than computer generated, just because there's no reason to do a computer generated crow. Yeah, sure, the actual bird itself kind of would make sense at times to be a CG bird, but on the whole, though, this movie needs to be practical and not just like you're playing a video game. The last bit of news for movies this week is Fahrenheit 451. We just got a new trailer, link in the description, new trailer for Fahrenheit 451, starring Michael B. Jordan. It seems that they're going to be taking some liberties with this franchise. If those liberties are going to pay off remains to be seen, but it has me wary. Where I was excited with the teaser trailer, this new trailer has me a little wary as to how they're going to deal with one of a lot of people's favorite sci-fi books ever. Ray Bradbury wrote some classics, and Fahrenheit 451 is the top 3 Bradbury books: Martian Chronicles, Illustrated Man, and Fahrenheit 451, Dandelion Wine, So you're not playing with an obscure title, you're playing with something that is very familiar to a very large swath of people. So tread carefully, HBO. You definitely have capable hands. The cats over at HBO are easily can handle something like this. They've done big things like this in the past, but those were TV shows, generally speaking, and not a movie, so they had a lot of time to deal with things. This is a movie. It's a little different. We'll see. Oh yeah. I almost forgot. We have a contest going so that you can win one of these t-shirts. We're giving away 2 of the t-shirts, and if you check the description below, then you can see all of the contest rules and how you can enter. There are multiple ways to enter, and you can enter multiple times, so you can potentially win one of these really awesome. I'm really excited about this partnership with the guys over at Tshirt. Tshirt.com is the website, and they have more than just my stuff, I promise. They have some really funny stuff over there. Definitely check out their website, Tshirt.com. Check out the description down below so that you can see how to enter this contest. So in about a month, you could be rocking one of these generally nerdy shirts. It's they took it a little literal with the name, Generally Nerdy. Get it? It's a kind of a verbal pun, or visual pun rather. Yeah, again, they have some great stuff over there. Check out their website. Go to the generallynerdy.net to also find the ways to enter, and good luck, guys. That is where we're ending this week's episode. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. What did I miss, guys? What should we talk about next week? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. That's where you can find all the freebies, all the social media links, the links to the stores, all that stuff. Should you want to help the conversation a little bit, jump over to the Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. You can jump on for just $1 a month over there. If you are new to the channel, though, click that subscribe button. If you like this episode, click the like button. If you are running behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, click or tap that box to the left of my face to do that. But before you go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.